It is late, or the room is warm, or the lecture is dull. You are sitting upright, and you are determined to stay awake. And your head begins to sink. It dips forward, slowly, further than you meant it to. And then, out of nowhere, it snaps back up. Your eyes flick open. For half a second, you do not quite know where you are, and you glance around to check whether anyone saw. You tell yourself you are winning. You are fighting sleep, and you are holding the line. But you have it backwards. You are not fighting sleep and winning. By the time your head is nodding, you have already lost, in small pieces, several times. Because in the seconds before that jolt, you were not awake at all. You were asleep. What you just did has a name. It is called a microsleep, and it is one of the strangest things a human brain does, because it happens without your permission and, most unsettling of all, without your knowledge. A microsleep is a brief episode of genuine sleep, lasting anywhere from a single second to about 15, that drops over you while you are trying to stay awake. Not drowsiness, not almost sleeping. Real sleep, the actual state, switched on in the middle of your waking life for a few seconds at a time. And here is the part that should unsettle you. Your brain does not ask. It does not warn you. It does not wait for a safe moment. When it has been pushed past a certain point of tiredness, it simply takes the sleep it needs in tiny, involuntary bites, whether you have agreed to it or not. During one of these episodes, the outside world fades out. Your eyes may stay open or half open, staring at nothing. Sounds drop away. And when you come back, a second or two later, you have no memory of the gap at all. The last thing you remember is being awake. That is why the head snap feels like it comes from nowhere. From the inside, there was no warning, because the part of you that would have noticed was offline. So the nod is not the moment you started to fall asleep. The nod is the moment you woke back up. Think about what that means. All evening you believed you were awake, occasionally drifting. The truth is the reverse. You were sleeping, in flickers, and briefly surfacing. Your sense that you are in control, that you are the one deciding to keep your eyes open, is being quietly overruled every few seconds by a brain that has stopped taking requests. And the head itself is just physics. While you are awake, a steady trickle of signals keeps the muscles of your neck holding your skull upright, a small constant effort you never think about. The instant a microsleep begins, that signal cuts out. The muscles go slack. The head, which is heavy, does what heavy things do and falls. The fall stretches the neck. The body registers it as a jolt, and that sensation is often what yanks you back to the surface. You did not nod because you were tired. You nodded because, for a moment, the part of you holding your head up had gone to sleep. So why would a brain do this? Why take sleep by force in the middle of a lecture against your clearly stated wishes? Because from your brain's point of view, your wishes are not the highest authority. Sleep is. Sleep is not optional maintenance that your body would like to get around to. It is a non-negotiable biological need, closer to breathing than to a preference. And when you accumulate a large enough sleep debt, that need does not politely wait for bedtime. It starts collecting, wherever and whenever it can, in whatever fragments it can seize. The microsleep is your brain refusing to keep running a system that has been denied something it cannot function without. There is a way to see this that makes the whole design make sense, and it comes from thinking about the world your sleeping system was actually built for. For almost all of human history, an overwhelming urge to sleep was not dangerous. If an ancestor grew unbearably drowsy by the fire, and their head nodded, and they slipped under for a few seconds, the cost was essentially nothing. They were near the group. They were near shelter. Sleep arriving uninvited was, if anything, the system working correctly, pulling them toward the rest they needed in a place where resting was safe. Your brain still runs on those terms. It still assumes that if you are this tired, the sensible thing, the survivable thing, is to sleep now, a little, right here. It has no concept of the situation you have actually put it in. Because you might not be by the fire. You might be on a motorway at night, both hands on the wheel, moving at 100 kilometers an hour inside a machine that did not exist for all but the last blink of human history. And in that machine, A 2-second microsleep is not harmless rest. 2 seconds at that speed is over 50 meters traveled with a driver who is fully, genuinely asleep. This is the mismatch at the heart of it. A reflex that was once a gentle, sensible nudge towards safety has been dropped, unchanged, into a world full of fast machinery and glowing screens and reasons to stay up long past what the body was ever designed to tolerate. The reflex did not get more dangerous. The world around it did. I should be clear about the limits of what is known here. Sleep scientists can measure microsleeps precisely, catching those 1 to 15-second lapses on brain recordings, and they agree completely that fighting them is a losing battle. The deeper evolutionary story, why the system is built to seize sleep this way, is a reasonable interpretation rather than a settled proof, and honest researchers treat it as such. But the practical fact is not in dispute at all. Once your brain has reached the point of taking microsleeps, you cannot win by willpower. There is no trick of posture or determination that beats it, because the very thing you would use to fight it, your conscious attention, is the thing switching off. The only real answer is the one the reflex was asking for the whole time. Not more coffee, not rolling down the window, not slapping your own face. Sleep. Actual sleep, deliberately, before your brain decides to take it from you at a moment of its choosing rather than yours. So the next time you are sitting somewhere, upright and proud and certain you are winning the fight to stay awake, and your head sinks and snaps back, and you glance around, embarrassed, hoping nobody noticed, understand what actually happened. You did not almost fall asleep. You already did. And your brain, running a program written for a far gentler world, just did you the ancient courtesy of waking you back up. The question it is really asking is very old and very simple. Why are you still awake?